hello everybody. Sorry I'm not there today, but I just want to go over some things for your test tomorrow and finish up the notes that we began at the beginning of this week. So if you have your iPads out, let's open up to our 10.4 notes where we were taking down our information about writing equations of lines. And if you scroll to where you left off on Monday, you should be seeing what we have up on the screen here, which is finding the equation of a line that is parallel and perpendicular to one another. And the example that is on the left hand of the screen that you're looking at should be the one that we focused on Monday, where we were dealing with the equation of a line of y equals 2x plus 6, and it was going through the point 310. And we worked on finding its parallel line, which was y equals 2x plus 4, and its perpendicular line, which was y equals negative 1/2 x plus 23 over 2. And what we had said on Monday, just as a quick refresher, is that lines that are parallel to one another have the same exact slope value, and lines that are perpendicular to one another have negative reciprocal slopes to one another. So we're going to try number 2, which is y equals negative 3x plus 7. So we have to find a line that is both parallel and perpendicular to that. And this new line is also going to go through the points 2, negative 8. So let's start with parallel. And a parallel line to y equals negative 3x plus 7 should have the same slope as the line we're given. So the slope has to be negative 3. It's going to go through a different intercept, and our new line has to go through this point of 2, negative 8. So I have to work on finding the new intercept. So I use my equation of a line of y equals mx plus b. My y value is negative 8. My slope value is negative 3. My x is 2. And I am looking to find my b value. So negative 8 equals negative 6 plus b. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And we will get that our b value is negative 2. Once we have our b value, once we have our slope value, we're going to put it together in our equation and get y equals negative 3x minus 2. So that's the equation of my parallel line. Part B is my perpendicular line. My perpendicular line has a negative reciprocal slope. So the negative reciprocal of negative 3 changes it to positive. And if I take the reciprocal then of 3, it becomes 1/3. Again, it's going to have a different y-intercept. So I need to find it. And I use my equation of a line to do that. And I plug in my b value, my perpendicular slope, my x value, and now I have to find my intercept. 1/3 times 2 is 2/3. I have to subtract 2/3 from both sides. And I'm just going to do some side work because negative 8 and negative 2/3, I want to get them to be the same denominator, so I'll multiply the negative 8 by 3 over 3, which gets me negative 24 over 3 minus 2/3. I'm also going to remember my rules, keep change, because they're integers. And when I do that, I end up with negative 26/3 equals our b value. I have my intercept. I have my slope. I'm going to put it together as my equation of a line. So y is going to equal 1/3 x minus 26 over 3. If you would like more practice with parallel lines, your textbook has a worksheet, Chapter 10, Section 4, Practice Problems 3. You have a bunch more questions on there if you want to do a little bit more practice with these. The third and final way of finding equations of lines is now when we are given 2 points on our graph. So our lines, remember, are made up of infinite amount of points. They're collinear because they would be on the same line. And this time, those points that we're given are just random points along the line. So we have to do 4 things in order to finally get to that ultimate goal, which is getting our equation of our line to be in that format of y equals mx plus b. If I am only given 2 points, that means I have to find the slope and I have to find the y-intercept. And in order to do that, your steps are up on the screen. So you're given your 2 points. So you would find their slopes by using the slope formula, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's a review. Once I find my slope, I then can go into my formula for a line and start to find the intercept. So I would plug in my slope value for m that I just solved. I would pick one of the sets of points that I was given. It's your choice, whichever ones you want. Again, you know how I like to kind of choose the easier point values. So maybe points that were positive points, or points that had easier numbers like 1s or 0s or even 2s to make my math a little bit less work. And then after I solve those values into x and y, I would solve for b. And then just like before, once I have my b value and once I have my intercept, which is my b value, and my slope, which is my m value, I can then rewrite it and make sure that my final answer is in the correct format, which is the equation of a line. All right, so now we're going to try some. The examples that you're seeing up here are from your worksheet in your textbook, which is 10.4.4. You can download it later if you want to just copy numbers 1, 2, and 3 into your notes and then just make a reference that it is to worksheet 10.4.4. The directions will be there. Okay, and then after this video is done, you can download the worksheet and add them into your notes. But basically what they're saying is to write the equation of a line given these particular points. And in this worksheet, it's telling us exactly our steps that we would need to follow. First, find the slope. Next, find the y-intercept. And then lastly, write the equation of the line. So we're going to do that. So first, we're going to find the slope. So in number 1, we have the points 2, 4, and 5, 7. So if I find its slope, I have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If I keep going, that slope becomes 3 over 3, and that reduces to 1. So I found my slope. Next, I would find my intercept. So I would have to use the equation of a line, y equals mx plus b, to do that. I can pick either of these coordinates. I'm going to choose 2, 4. So I would plug 4 into y, 1 into my slope, 2 into my x, and I have to find that b value. So I go through my two-step equation, and I solve for that b value, which would be 2. I have my intercept, I have my slope, which means I can write the equation of that line as y equals 1x, which is really just x, plus 2. So a lot of these steps that we're doing reflect some of the other steps we've done in the past. They're just kind of adding in a couple of different things as we go. Okay, so let's try number 2. We have the point 33 and 9, negative 6. So we'll find its slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So negative 6 minus 3, keep change, is negative 9. 9 minus 3 is 6, and that's going to reduce to negative 3/2. So I have my slope. My intercept, going to y equals mx plus b. I'll use 3. So 3 equals negative 3/2 times 3 plus b. That's going to be negative 9/2 plus b. We'll add that to the other side. Again, we want to get like denominators. So if I change 3 over 1 to something over 2, that's going to become 3 times 2, which is 6 over 2, plus 9 over 2. And that would give me my b value of 15 over 2. I have my b value. I have my slope value. So the equation of this line would be y equals negative 3/2 x plus 15 over 2. Okay. In your backpack, you have a review sheet for your test tomorrow that has more practice with these types of questions, more practice with parallel and perpendicular lines, as well as point and slope, slope and y-intercept, just finding the slope, and working with just points on a coordinate grid. So you have that worksheet. The answers will be posted by the end of class. You can also work on worksheets like this one that you see up on the screen if you want extra practice with a line given 2 points. And you can also work on the third set, which is a line that has parallel and perpendicular. Okay, I will be available tomorrow morning starting around 7:40 in our classroom 112 for any extra help that you may need with these topics. But the test is scheduled for tomorrow, so just make sure that you are studying tonight. Have a great day.